Uh,
All right, we're good.
it's also called Let's Fucking Go, by the way. We ready? All
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Arrogance and ales.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Arrogance and Ales. I'm Fraz. That's JJ. Our resident brewer is off somewhere in the middle of a grain stack, so maybe he'll show up, maybe he won't. One never knows.
Never know with
But-
these guys.
Exactly, dude. You just never know where to find them. If you're new to Arrogance and Ales, thank you for joining us. Smash that like and subscribe button. And also, this is what we do here. We do beer reviews and we talk beer news. And with that, let's start the review. What, JJ, are you sipping on?
I picked up a 4-pack of Victory dry hopped Prima Pills. I love Prima Pills. When I was getting into craft beer years ago, it was Prima Pills and a Stouts Pilsner that were different kind of Pilsners. But I gravitated towards Prima. If now look at Prima, look how hazy this looks. That does not look like a regular Prima Pils, does it?
No. It's not your typical German
Right.
Pilsner. It's not German. The revered Prima Pils meets a unique blend of Southern Hemisphere hops in this dry hop Prima Pils small batch release. Notes of stone fruits and citrus elevate an already sublime recipe. Classic reimagined.
You know, I got to tell you, I'm not thrilled by it. I mean, I'll drink it. It's very drinkable, but when I drink this Pilsner, when I drink Prima Pils, I expect that crisp hoppy bite, with very little malt. And not that it has a lot of malt, because it doesn't, but the hops, it shouldn't have like a fruity hoppiness to this. You know what I mean? Like a stone fruity hop. So I don't know. It doesn't do anything for me. I want the regular Prima Pils just souped up a little bit, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, so would it be closer to like the Foreign Objects Pilsners that were just basically IPAs?
It's not an IPA. It has very little bitterness. I mean,
No?
Prima Pils has a bitterness that I like. The dry hopping takes the bitterness out. It's almost like a light pale ale.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah,
it does not sound like one of my favorites. All right, am I going spruce or am I going phase 7?
Yeah, do that spruce beer, man. Spruce Willis. That's not. Now, do they use spruce in the brew?
Let's look it up. I don't know. Spruce. Okay, Spruce Willis. It is. Spruce Willis, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Thought it would be awesome. Oh, they do actually. Ale brewed with spruce chips. An explosive, hoppy double IPA with tiny resinous bursts from the spruce and pops of wintergreen, mango, grapefruit, and pine-like notes from the hops. The last thing this beer wants to be is a hero, but it doesn't have a choice.
The debate over Die Hard being a Christmas movie. I guess this brewery's assuming it is a Christmas movie.
Because it is a Christmas movie.
I know.
I don't even understand what the hell I need to explain to people.
I know it is. Yeah.
Fucking Christmas. He's there for Christmas.
It's just
Christmas
not your
trees.
typical Christmas movie. It's not your typical Christmas movie.
Okay, yeah, you're right. It's not a what's that? A Wonderful Life or
yeah.
It's not. Sorry, it's not Dickens. We're looking at 8.2%. And in honor, I guess, I'm drinking it out of a Pennsylvania tuxedo.
They discontinued that beer. That beer had a good following.
I don't know why a PA brand, especially one like Log Yard, which literally puts wood in almost all their goddamn beers.
Yeah, they use birch sugar.
Run with it.
Yeah, they use birch sugar, and they should run with it.
And instead of call it like a PA formal wear, just as a complete and utter slap, and just do it. Man, this actually did say.
Can
I
you
like
taste
this.
the spruce?
I think so.
So it's not like PA Tuxedo.
I mean, yeah, there is a note of it, but it's not like PA Tuxedo or
Oh, PA Tuxedo smacked you in the face.
yeah, or but there's that wintergreen note, and that's the spruce, right?
Right, right.
Yeah. So it's there. That's definitely there. I almost taste it more as wintergreen than as a like wood note. Yeah, I'm not chewing on wood. Or I was gonna say as Anchor Steam Christmas, which sometimes literally tastes like you've just eaten a Christmas tree.
Every year that's a different recipe, and they use a different spruce tree every year. And
Mhm.
you know they'll repeat them every now and then. But this year they used the Joshua tree.
I saw that on the bottle. I was definitely
Yeah.
interested. I'm like, okay, well,
It's sold out super quick. You can't even get it anymore.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you can pick that up at somewhere small and horrible. So I'll have to pick that up. No, just no. But I mean, it's still in grocery stores and stuff. You can see it's like there's a lot of it in
I
grocery
know, I
stores.
know.
All right, and let's get to
The news.
and
I don't want to hear about Omicron. So if you have anything about Omicron, just throw it away. I don't want to hear it.
well, I'm not going to talk about Omicron, maybe Omnicron, but
No, it's Omicron. It's
Omicron.
not.
It's Omicron. It's
Yeah,
Omicron. I know.
Omicron. Yeah.
Yes, I know the Greek alphabet. You had to learn it. Like it's yeah. Omicron is what Biden was calling it, right? When he was saying it wrong.
Yeah,
the whole
yeah,
time?
yeah.
I mean, it's the 80-year-old man with fake teeth. I mean, come on,
Ah,
bro.
dude.
I mean, it's you know,
Yeah. Let's
We're
not
not
go there
rambling.
either. Let's
Yeah,
not go
exactly.
there either.
we're not. Even though my son today said to me, he goes, "Daddy, what? Can we go to the White House?" I was like, "What? What White House?" Like I was just thinking, like, which one of my parents or his grandparents has a White House? And he's like, "The White House," and he says, "Joe Biden lives there." And I was like, "What the? Who taught you?"
What made him say that?
They learned about America and they made American flags yesterday in school. That's what I'm thinking. And by the way, my son has 3 kids. So yeah, I was like, Joe Biden? What? All right. The things you remember. Can you remember not to hit somebody? Can we remember that instead?
Yeah, that's the more important thing at this age.
Yeah.
Don't bite, don't hit.
Yeah. I got the biting one down, the hitting one now. So, Thanksgiving Eve is back. On-prem numbers up 8.5% from 2019. Welcome, people. Thank you for coming back.
Up 8.5 from 19.
From
That's
19,
that's a great number.
100%. Not only were they up double digits from last year, during the pandemic, they were up pre-pandemic numbers. After a slump in 2020, leveled by the impact of COVID, Thanksgiving Eve returned to its rightful place as the biggest on-prem party of the entire year per Beer Board, whose technology helps map and manage many of the largest on-premise chains and beer bar sales. On-premise volumes were up almost 80% compared to 2020, but that makes sense considering we were under full lockdown.
I mean, we were in almost full lockdown, and
Yeah.
this all stems from people coming home from college, right? This is like more of like a reunion type thing where everybody comes home and they get into a reunion. They go to a bar and hang out. Yeah,
I remember. I mean, now here's where I'm gonna go. I don't think it was that long ago, but it's probably 20 years ago now, when there was only like one bar open on, say, Thanksgiving and one bar open on Christmas. And that bar, I mean, now again, we don't live in a very big town. We live in a town of 100,000 people, about 300,000 people within not a very big area. But there was seriously only like maybe 3 or 4 bars open in the entire area. And those places got so packed And when you came home, there was no way you were going to avoid seeing people you didn't know your whole life growing up. But Thanksgiving Eve also, so I mean, let's see, on-prem was up. Thanksgiving Eve was up due to the prior Wednesday. Compared to all the 2020 trends, the country's biggest metros experienced lockdowns and herb gathering. Places like New York and LA saw some of the biggest year-over growth. Los Angeles was the top. How much were they up?
Well, they were really under lockdown. So I mean,
Mhm.
over 19, this is
No, over 20.
over 20. I mean, I would imagine it's got to be like 90%.
170%.
Yeah, okay.
Chicago was up 144%, and New York City was up just under 98%. Of course, here's where you get really sad. Would you like me to tell you what the top 10 selling beers were?
Oh, I would imagine. Well, yeah, go ahead. I mean, it's all macro stuff, I would imagine.
Bud Light, Michelob Light, Miller Light, Coors Light. Here's where it gets interesting to me. Modelo, Dos Equis, Blue Moon, PBR, Stella, and of course, Youngling. Yeah, I know how to say it right.
I mean, Modelo's on fire.
That's amazing.
Corona's not in that list.
Wow.
Wow.
Dos Equis
Wow.
is. You think that might be due to out of stocks? I mean, when was the
Maybe,
last
'cause
time you saw Corona draft?
Well, but Modelo's part of the same family. They come out of the
That's
same
true.
breweries. So I don't know. Modelo's on fire.
Definitely, it's amazing. And what about seltzer? What number? What number on that list?
Oh, seltzer's got to be way down because it's on prem. There's not much on prem seltzer business, is there?
It's still up there though.
I mean, I'm saying number 20 on the list.
17.
17. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's also. I mean, how often do you see? I mean, around here, there's really like almost never seltzer on draft.
When you go to the bar, though, you never see a seltzer. Like you never. Well, I guess sometimes you do. Sometimes you
And
see a White Claw available or a Truly available, but not much.
because they have tonic and vodka there.
Exactly.
All right, let me finish this and get to my next one. Man, this was actually really a freaking enjoyable, weird ass beer. I mean, again, it's a double IPA with spruce. You definitely get all the wood, the wintergreen from it. You know, oof, it's yeah. I don't really get mango and grapefruit, but I definitely get resi, piney, bitey. That's nice. Let me rinse my glass here, kids.
What are you going
Go to
to
my-
next?
I think I'm gonna go with the Turtle Dreams from First State, the Karuba and pineapple.
I was really impressed with that guy that came in the other day.
Yeah, they're head of their tap room. Yeah,
I
he's
think they're doing it right. I mean, they got quality control. They have a lab. They take it very serious. Beer, it shows in the beer. I think it's, if they do the right things, they could be another New Trail or the next New Trail.
I agree. I think that they can really do some work, and the spot's nice. You're right. The lab they have to do quality control for as small of a brewery as they are is the size of a much larger brewery. They have the lab of a a regionally like of a yards, and they literally took the guy. He used to be the yards lab, and then he went to
he was
Dogfish.
Yeah, it was Dogfish.
He went
yeah,
to,
yeah,
he was
yeah,
yard.
yeah.
Yeah, it was yards. At yards, Dogfish hired him away, and then all right, let's see here. I love First State puts tasting notes right on the back of their cans, so I can see what tasting notes do I have. Pineapple, grapefruit, and clementine. It's got 20 IBUs. The hops are Sultana. The grains are local Pilsner, wheat, and oats. And they put Karuba, pineapple, and a little tiny bit of lacto, which they did say that they were trying to get out, actually. But they do make it shelf stable. So you can have this on the shelf, not cold. It won't explode.
So when you say lacto, you mean lactobacillus, not lactose.
No, it's lactose.
Hmm.
Doesn't look like it, though. I mean, maybe that's.
Does
how
it
you
say
get the-
lacto or lactose?
Lactose.
Oh.
There's lactose.
So it's a sweeter sour. It's not going to be as.
Nope. All right. I have a guest here who's like to say goodnight to me.
Good night, buddy. Nice post today, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want you okay. He wants to do a button. So press that. No, those aren't, they won't do anything. That one. Okay, one last button. That one. Which one? That one?
This one.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, Dad, you can see the microphone.
You can't use the microphone, kiddo. Okay.
Why?
Thank you, buddy. All right. Sorry about that. Or I think most of you hopefully will find that heartwarming and makes me more humanable and likable, except for my wife, who did not agree with that statement.
Yeah.
So. Oh, yeah. Ow. It's like grapefruit and clementine punch on the front. The pineapple softens it a bit, but it is not as they must go real light on the lactose because it's still
Still sour.
sour. I mean, it's not like
It's like a
Any
lemon
sort
juice.
of-
It's not like lemon juice.
it's not lemon juice. It's not enamel ripping. It's not,
Right.
and it's not. I don't feel like I'm gonna get diabetes from like a heavily fruited sour that's just, just fruit in the bottom of a can, that's gonna explode. It's nice. It's actually really bad.
It's amazing what the beer business has turned into when you say that. It's really not diabetes in a can. When they throw a bunch of canned fruit into a beer and make it taste like a drink of yogurt, probably 1,000 calories in a can.
Listen, I kind of like that 1,000-calorie canned beer, but I'm just saying, this one is much more tart. It still is like, hi, I'm still a sour. I'm not just
Yeah, but that's probably why it's
smoothie.
shelf stable too.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't have all that fermentable sugar in it.
It doesn't. It
Yeah,
doesn't have that.
yeah.
All right. So you're sticking with the Prima
Yeah,
all
man.
night long,
Yeah, I'm rolling with the Prima.
even though you don't like it. That's funny.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, 'cause
I
even though
bought, I
you
bought
do-
4 of them, dude.
You're pot committed. I'm pot committed, bro. There's nothing I can do here. All right. On to our next topic, a little bit local for us, is the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board issued its annual report, and tucked away in the depths of its revenue was a line item called e-commerce, which had been trucking along at $2 to $3 million for the last 7 years. Until that is when it doubled to $5 million in 2019. And then in 2020, drum roll, it's $27 million, part of their business. While it is still a small percentage of total sales, it is clear that direct to sales, direct to customer, e-commerce in the bev alc space has arrived, even in the most controlled of states. Wow.
So let me ask you this. So this is this curbside pickup e-commerce?
Yes.
Okay. So do you remember during COVID what it was like getting liquor and wine from the state store?
Yeah, it was a nightmare. You had to wait in line like you were waiting, like we were in Russia for bread.
It was terrible. And when you'd call the store to get something, you'd have to call 500 times to get through. It was terrible.
Oh, I just did it online.
Well, if their online portal was terrible.
It
was terrible. So then I'm not. Listen, there's no doubt they needed to spend some money on this, for crying out loud. We give a lot of tax money to that organization, so they should be doing it. But I remember when we went 100% curbside, we we had our issues, but we were pretty flawless, but we had it set up, we were ready to go. The state store was totally unprepared. I mean, totally unprepared.
They had never even thought, like, here's the thing. When you went curbside, it was difficult, but it's not that uncommon for you guys to be like, hi, can you go grab me a case of cold cores? And your guys are used to that. They're
Yeah.
not used to that. And they obviously didn't staff. Here's what
Yeah.
they did. They thought, because no one's inside the building, we don't need to staff up. What would we need to staff up for? Oh, maybe because the orders are going to come 10 times faster than anything you're ready for. And you're going to have oh my God, the line at the Easton one wrapped all the way into Walmart. Like, I mean, so
you
for people that,
you'd think those people would go to Phillipsburg.
yeah, that's true. It was like
You know
a
what I mean?
quarter of a mile line. Felt like it was amazing. It's like,
So this as well. You know this with our pre-orders. People really like feeling like they're getting something special. Number one, something fresh. They know it's going to be fresh when it comes in. They get it right away. It's not sitting on the shelf. They're part of a community. They're part of getting something really cool. They love the e-commerce and the family that it creates and the community it creates, with getting that fresh, cool beer.
I agree with you 100%. And you got to think there's a reason that their portal sucked. When they were doing $3 million for 7 years, there's no reason to invest in it. Really,
Right.
I bet you that $2 to $3 million was all of their weird raffles and stuff that they used to run for, like Pappy bottles.
What was the one that there was a Blanton's? There was one bottle available. Did you see that one?
Now, I've seen before that they did Blanton ones, and they were
It was a variant of Blanton's, some sort of variant of Blanton's, where they had one bottle and they did a lottery for it. Like, can you imagine how much money they made on that one bottle?
Yes. Yes. I've as a person who bids every single time on the Pappy ones, I have some idea.
Do you like Pappy?
Listen, I think it's good. I don't think it's the God's nectar that everybody thinks it is. But again, it is scarcity of styles. And listen, you know what I did recently? I went and found all my baseball and all my basketball cards, and the numbers on a couple of these, I don't even I need a Brinks truck. Like I looked at one of the cards and I was like, no, you can't. No.
I was having this conversation while I was in on a Bourbon County debate on one of the Facebook pages. You know what I'm talking about. And I was called this extremist craft beer bro. You know what I mean? Because I was talking about, yeah, right. Because listen, it's all about creating demand. Breweries can do this, right? If you market well enough and you limit your beer and you target well enough, you can create a demand for your product, but just through marketing. Now, we all know what happened to KBS, right? So you got BCBS, who, quite frankly, over the last 2 to 3 years has cut back inventory, limited
This
how
year.
much is. This year they did. And it's
last
dude,
year.
no, 2 years ago it was awful. 2 years
Okay.
ago it was fucking awful. 2019, the Moncherie was available all year long, the Cafe Deola, the wheat wine, all of it. So they cut back this year, and they made it harder to get, which was smart. It was a smart move. I mean, look what happened to KBS, dude. KBS, they put it everywhere. It's everywhere. And they put big displays up, bastardized the price. And now it's like, who cares?
It sits on shelves. It's a shelfie.
Yeah. So when you talk about the Blantons and these single bottle releases and Pappy, it's all about the mystique of getting that bottle. You know what I mean?
Listen, I won a raffle for a bottle of Dreer Fontaine that was going for about $80 because it was not available in the States, blah, blah, blah. I won it. I hadn't picked it up. The dude was really cool and held on to it for a whole year. I had completely and utterly forgotten about this beer. he saw me one day and was like, "Hey, a-hole, here's your bottle. And by the way, go look it up now." I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "So in the years since, they found that they only made something like 2,000 of these bottles. All the other ones, but this one, because of the way it was, it meant it was something special. It had gold lacing in the writing, of course. And so it was like, what?" And it was like, yeah. And he said, and I looked it up. I was like, oh man, like an $80 bottle that was probably $40 when you bought it was going for upwards of $500. I was like, what? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Can I find somebody? And I sure as hell did. What are you, out of your
Yeah.
mind? Listen,
That's awesome.
as my friends joke, and everybody who knows me, I love my family first, money second. Second. But yeah, so yeah, I stand on no but it's 100%. And then you run into like, really what happens is you have to maintain the mystique of your brand for so long, but then you start to bump up against the fact that you're not making enough money, or you're not making as much as you can. And then you run into what I would call the other half problem, which is other half was this hype, unbelievably rare brewery.
Yeah.
Then they opened up 2 more locations in New York. Then they opened up a location in DC. And now they had 3 locations pumping beer.
Yeah.
And a beer that I still remember as of 4 years ago, probably 4, was still hard to get in New York City, is everywhere. Every bottle shop I go to in the city, I go to New York City about once a month. Every single bottle shop has just racks and racks of it. Hell, Wegmans has it here. Like,
Yeah, I see that as a problem for the brand. They're gonna have to realize that at some point you're not gonna get 24 hours of 4-pack.
that's the
Right.
thing. You're gonna have
So-
to lower the price.
So there's a fine line between, you want distribution. Well, with distro, your cost should come down, right? Cost should come down, prices should come down, and that you got to find that balance. And a lot of these breweries are having a hard time figuring that out. And you know what I'm talking about.
I do. Your problem becomes is they're not ready to not make their markup when they go into distribution.
Yeah, 100%, dude. 100%.
I need mines. And
Yep.
it's no. We both need ours. And then the retailer, aka you, needs to make yours.
Yeah.
So there needs to be 2 more hands in the cookie jar, and it needs to end up to being the same prices on your shelf if that's what your goal
And they're
is.
not willing to give that up. They're just
It is
not.
they're willing. They're just not ready for
Yeah.
cost wise.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
just not, because it's a mentality difference of a brand like New Trail that understood from day one they wanted to go to distro. Where we could be the hype boy, you could come stand in line, and they were like, no, we don't want that. What we want is we want to be ubiquitous. We want to be everywhere as fast as humanly possible.
All right, let's talk about that. So they scaled up in capacity in one location, pretty much centralized in the state of Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Right. Williamsport's it's not center, but you can hit a lot of points from Williamsport.
If they were in
right?
Harrisburg, it would be better, but yeah.
Right, but they're pretty close. But they scaled up in that one location. Now you got other
Mhm.
half who's opening Philadelphia now, by the way.
Yep.
So they have 2 in New York, 1 in DC, 1 in Philadelphia. And I don't know the capacity of it, but maybe all 4 combined reach New Trail's 1 space capacity.
No, I think they prove more.
You think
I'd have
so?
to look.
Do you
I think
so?
all 4. I think all 4 combined.
But
Especially with their
that presents a problem with logistics. You see what I'm saying, though?
yeah, because you got to now ship beer. Yeah, I will say I had a buddy of mine go to Other Half in DC, and Other Half DC has all DC only beers. Has a
Oh,
whole
dude,
bunch of them.
Dude, we're getting spammed with freaking naked bullshit on our
Nice.
YouTube.
Oh.
Ay, ay, ay. Hold on. Let me
That's
block
good.
these.
Spam me.
Let me block these guys.
That's right. We're so popular. You have to spam me. That's right. Spam me. What? You've never
Ay,
looked at the
ay,
comments
ay.
on Pornhub? Don't lie.
Oh God. Well, it's just funny when you got to go through this stuff and get rid of it. You know.
Oh, look, somebody wants to ask us a question. Oh, do you like the sexy party? No, I don't want this. Yes, I do, but I don't want it from you. Thank you.
Correct.
Exactly. But no, so the other half in DC, I had 2 of their DC exclusives. They were old. They felt like old school other half to me. They were awesome. And I was so happy. I was like, oh, and my one buddy got so mad at me. He was like, you went and you didn't hook me up. Like, what's up, bro? I was like, yo, nobody came up here and handed me 2 cans of beer, bro. Like, I didn't go to DC. I ain't going nowhere. But that's exactly what this all becomes. It all becomes its own.
But that doesn't help you with the economy of scale with distribution.
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, if you're gonna do this, there's some resistance out there right now to $25 4-packs. There just is, and you know, you're gonna see some old beer sitting on the shelf, and that's just what's gonna happen.
What ends up going to be is that there will be a percentage of people that will buy the hype boy shit that will pay that, but they'll pay it once. That is other halves and a few of the others. Their issues is that they think you will pay $28, $30 a 4-pack for my shit every time. No, I won't. I'll pay it once because I'll drink it once and then I'll be happy. And also, for me, man, I'm a single can kind of guy. So I'm always like, yo, we're going somewhere. You pick a 4-pack, I pick a 4-pack, you pick a 4-pack, and then we're just going to switch cans. Like, you know, like let's just play this game.
Yeah, I'm more of an old school guy. Like, that's more of a new school way of thinking. I'm more of an old school guy where I want a 12-pack and I want to get into it.
So fine, I have this $40 12-pack of 12 ounce. Yes, you want it. Yeah, you do. No, I don't. All right. All right. Do I? You know what? No. I'm going to finish with Let's Go because it feels more like a Let's Go finishing beer. I'm going to go on to my next one since, oh, wait, I can review JJ's beer again. No, not his favorite.
Yeah, not my favorite.
We're drinking Phase 7 from Spellbound Brewing. Phase 7 is a double IPA. Let me see if I can find. Here we go. You are a bursting with citrus, peach, grapefruit, and passion fruit from the hops. Flaked oats give it a touch of sweetness. 8% alcohol. Okay. You are hazy AF, which is a new thing for them. Oh, damn, though, it smells good. What is you supposed to smell like? Citrus, peach, and grapefruit. Very peachy. Very peachy. Come on, don't disappoint. Smells so good. Good head. No, you're wonderful. Is it hype boy shit? No. But it's a 12-ounce can. And if I got this in a 12-ounce can, I'd be super soaked. People, this is an 8% drinking peach New England Imperial yum. Yeah. All right. Damn it. I dig. I dig it. All right. What's next in the news was a topic that JJ brought to me. And it is can costs and squeezing the middle. And is this a paradigm shift? Online media loves an inflation story. And with supply chain overtones these days, so expectation that craft beers will need to raise prices to offset increased costs of canning. Sidebar: Constellation Brands, AB, and BBC have all stated they are going to take price increases by this point, by the end of the year, going into 22, to offset these costs.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it's 300% more than normal.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like yeah,
Yeah.
we're as a company. I've heard it also from us. We have yet to start. We have tried to keep absorbing these additional costs, but they are starting to rise at a level. Just think of like the shipping costs of like just running diesel in a fleet of trucks or trailers. The decision by Ball Corp to raise the minimum of 5 truckloads or 1.02 million units for contracting of printed cans could hit mid-sized craft brewers the most. They are going to be squeezed between the largest breweries, who won't see much change in the ability and pricing, and the smallest, who again won't see many changes because they don't have printed cans.
There's some small guys around us that have printed cans though that do contract.
Sure.
You know,
Those
and
brewers will have-
if you're go ahead. Sorry.
No, those brewers those brewers will have a tough choice of seeing their margin eroded or raising prices. They told, most breweries cannot order 1 million cans per SKU. Reminded the news about Ball's decision when it first came up. They have estimated that the number of craft brands that meet this threshold will be as few as 100. Really?
100.
100. That's what they say. As at 42,500 case equivalents, or just over 3,000 barrels of 12-ounce cans, is 12 ounce. Scan data shows that the number is likely higher, though not perhaps much due to estimation. And that the real rub for the organizations is that the change mostly disadvantages brewers big enough to go head to head for shelf spaces with the largest company, but cannot compete with their scale advantages. It impacts pricing, margins for top brands among the smallest regional breweries and many smaller brands for much larger outfits.
Wow. So you may not have. I mean, let's talk Funk's. I think about Funk right away.
Mhm.
So Funk Citrus, Funk Silent Disco. They're the only two that are printed for them. I think.
Mhm.
I mean, they probably have space to do it, but that's a lot of cans. I mean, how far out does that go? Does that take them? You know what I mean? Like, does Susquehanna want a warehouse that much? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, you have to think the same thing for New Trail. Their
well, you got to
Broken Hills
think,
is a printed can.
but you got to think Evil Genius also has pre-printed
Oh,
cans.
God, yeah.
So, like, all of these breweries that Susquehanna deals with are all going to have to buy 5 trailers per SKU.
Mm-hmm.
That's an issue.
It's just a storage issue.
Yeah.
That was a crazy. I did not think it was going to be that low, especially when you and I can think of 3 brands locally that we think would do it.
I was told that Great Lakes is going to have a hard time reaching that.
Other than Christmas, but they use bottles.
The pre-printed cans.
Yeah.
They just switched the cans. That's a
Yeah.
pretty big brewery.
That's amazing when you think about that. Like,
Right?
think about in your local area, the largest guy you can imagine, and if they have a printed can.
All of Trogue's cans are pre-printed.
Sure, but Trogue sells 1 million units of all them.
No, I know that, but now they're going to have to increase their warehouse facility. They're going to have to grow their infrastructure. Their warehouse facility now to store cans has to get 5 times larger.
True. So, yeah, that's
Right?
I mean, think about the old joke that Two Roads, which is one of the largest facilities regionally, they used to call that one series. Do they still call it the Tank series?
Yeah. It was a sour series they did.
Yeah, because they don't have room
Right.
so they they literally took the wheels off of a tanker and have it as a permanent spot
Yep.
outside because they don't have room for it.
Yep.
So are we just gonna have like can graveyards outside?
I don't know, man. I would think you'd want them out inside. I wouldn't want them outside, or
Of course.
I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, you would think there's some breweries that are gonna be they're scrambling.
Yeah, it's absolutely. Let's see. Consider a company like Colorado's Upslope, which shipped 23,000 barrels in 2020. As craft brewers, we're not rolling in dough over here. Co-founder Matt Cutter told CNN, "We cannot absorb this. It would force us out of business." He expects six-pack prices would need to go up $2 come spring, and it could be an economic killer for some. Maui Brewing co-founder Garrett Marrero said, also likely citing price increases, "Of course, cost pressures across the supply chain are likely to push prices of the beer biz up and well beyond. Larger suppliers, have discussed larger than average price increases to the tune of 4 to 6%. Whoa. In discussions with distributors and investors alike. As a sibling, that could impact demand, especially for mainstream beer. When craft prices range widely on one hand, that could offer room for brewers to take pricing up without impacting sales trends, but how many consumers to respond to fastening inflation will be seen.
Think about this for us. So you have breweries like Anheuser-Busch that bought how many craft breweries?
Yep.
Like Goose Island, Kona, 10 Barrel, Devil's Backbone, Elysian. You know them all. We know them all. They can they can afford it, and they have the space to store these cans. There's no issues with them.
Yeah.
There's going to be a major purge soon. There's going to be a major purge. Or they're just going to have to go back to labeling cans, labeling cans and be more expensive. It's just the way it is.
It'll be the cans will be more expensive per can because they'll have to go back to hand labeling or
that's why Funk went to the pre-printed can and the price is reasonable. You can get a 4-pack of Funk Citrus for $13.99. That's a great price for that beer, right? Honestly.
Okay. Yeah, Broken Heels. Heels is a pre-printed label.
$13.99.
All of their 12 ounces are pre-printed labels. Oof. All right. Well, speaking of AB brands, before I do that, I'm going to chug the last of this. This is a shame. I don't want to chug it. Oh,
What the hell?
listen. Chugging an 8% Imperial Hazy that is fresh as shit. He's not the easiest of things. But JJ, let's bucking go. This is a lager, 5%. Just for you, Joshykins, to your health.
Crispy boy.
It's a crispy boy. It's a lager for the fans. This tailgating lager is brewed with Paul Mullen hops to give it a smooth finish.
When these beers, before you taste that, but when these beers come out into our market and they're offered to us, I cringe, dude. I cringe. They don't pull. They don't sell.
Listen, I agree with you 100%. So I'm one of our brands is Maine Brewing Company.
Yeah.
They brought for us their Pilsner. And they've stated
I bought the draft. Yeah.
Yeah. But they've stated to us, like, listen, we get it. Our Pilsner's too expensive for anyone to buy. It's the same damn price as their IPAs. And I drank their Pilsner. Oh my God.
But the
Yes, I want a
it's
Pilsner.
probably great. The average Joe Schmo beer drinker has no clue that a Pilsner takes more time and effort than an IPA. Now, the ingredients may be less, so that offsets it, but there's more time that goes into a Pilsner. You know, is it good?
Tailgate, 100%. Is it better than Miller Lite, Coors Light? Yes. Is it something I ever want to drink if I'm not at a tailgate or just wanting to drink 6 and not be drunk? No. But it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't like lagers, bitches. I didn't get into this game to drink Miller Lite. I didn't get in this game to drink Budweiser. I know that I'm the last hazy boy on the island, but I'm gonna hang out on this island because guess what? Money. What did I tell you? Family, did money. So let me have a sip of this and talk about a JJ favorite, a cold IPA.
Dude, it's so funny you picked that subject. I thought it was hilarious.
So let's talk about a cold IPA.
So I'm going to preface before you get into the story. I'm gonna talk about history. Okay, do you remember Hitler and his concentration camps? How he would call? Hold on, time out.
Who talked
would
about
call-
Hitler? Good lord.
He would call them retreats, getaways, or vacations, or he would call them something else that they really weren't.
Mhm.
Let's get into cold IPA.
Could have been a lot easier to just be like, you ever go on a vacation where you had to listen to an 8-hour timeshare video?
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Instead of bringing up Hitler.
Propaganda, folks.
Oh, Lord. We're going to talk about a cold IPA from 10 Barrel Brewing, which AB believes is the innovation of the future.
See, now some marketing dude that gets fresh out of college, they sit around these fucking meetings, they come up with these ideas. Let's see what happens. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Of course, IPAs seem to be an entire category to themselves. This is their marketing person talking. What planet are you on? We were curious about one 10 barrel innovation in particular, a cold IPA. What is that? This cold IPA is one of the styles we have found to be on the leading edge in terms of being something that consumers, who knows what's next? Wait, something that consumers, and this is what they literally wrote, who knows what's next? But it has a lot of the attributes of what consumers are really looking for. The cues are around it are really refreshing. Even the name cold IPA will think drinkability and it'll ring true with the customers. So now, let's kids go to what are we looking at?
Hey, Frost,
New
what's the A stand for in IPA?
Ale.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, wait, what? I'm so confused.
I'm just wondering, so keep that in mind, people. Keep that in mind, people.
What is the newschoolbeer.com's definition of a cold IPA? To brew a crisper version of an IPA, not something I've ever heard of when I want my IPAs. Brewers create a cold IPA using Pilsner malt and lager yeast. Sounds a bit like an India Pale Lager, right? Because it's an IPA, it's higher ABV than an APL, and you're allowed to use adjuncts to lighten the body.
This is an experiment went wrong a long time ago, and we've all experienced the IPL craze. And now we're just going to give it a different name, like a retreat or a family getaway or, some bullshit. It ain't going to work. Maybe it will. I mean, I hope the consumer's smart enough to understand what they're buying. I really do.
Dude, every cold IPA that's going to come out of AB is going to be sitting on a shelf warm, And it's gonna
Yeah, oh,
confuse the
100%.
hell out of
But
everybody.
the cold means it's fermented cold. It doesn't mean it has to be cold. It means it's fermented cold.
You think people are gonna understand that?
I know they'll never understand. They're not going to know that. They're gonna. I know. I know. The whole thing irritates the shit out of me. So years ago, remember when Yingling? I'll tell the story. I told you the story. Remember Yingling had their IPL.
Mm-hmm.
So the sales director stops in to the store. And I said, I hear you guys are coming out with a new beer, an Impale Lager. I said, please do me a favor. This is before he said a word to me. Please do me a favor. Just don't call it an IPL because it won't sell. He goes, well, we're calling it IPL. I'm like, oh, man. It's dead. And they just...
The head of that brewery on a PBS interview said, IPL, IPA, I don't give a shit until it makes me money. There we go. And I think on that,
I think that was the first time Dick Yingling introduced a new yeast strain into his brewery. And I think that was a real struggle for him.
it was. It was
Yeah.
the first new beer since Black and Tan.
But they all use the same, yeast
Yeah.
strain. They all use the same one. Anyway.
I think on that note, kids, we should call it a wrap. I'm Fraz.
I'm JJ.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank
you. And this.